Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, California utility Pacific Gas and Electric will plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter for sparking the state's deadliest wildfire, the company announced this week. The announcement comes a little less than a year after an investigation confirmed that power lines owned by the utility sparked the Camp Fire, which burned 153,000 acres, killing 85 people, and scorched the town a paradise. The plea is part of a March 17th agreement with the Butte County District Attorney's Office. According to the agreement, the county would drop all criminal proceedings against the utility, and in exchange, it would plead guilty to 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of accidentally starting a fire. It would also pay a fine of $3.5 million maximum and $500,000 in legal costs, as well as put $15 million towards water for residents who relied on the Miocene Canal destroyed in the fire. The announcement also comes 3 days after California Governor Gavin Newsom said he was willing to approve PG&E's plan to emerge from bankruptcy, which it entered in early 2019 as it faced billions of dollars in liabilities from the fires. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Los Angeles County Sheriff says gun shops are not essential businesses and ordered deputies to make sure they were closed during the coronavirus crisis. A move that was contradicted hours later when the county's top lawyer said they could be open. The move by Sheriff Alex Villanueva on Tuesday enraged Second Amendment advocates who said they plan to challenge it in court. Los Angeles County, the nation's largest county with 10 million residents, enacted a stay-at-home order last week, requiring all non-essential businesses to close. The county council says gun shops are essential businesses. It was not immediately clear what the conflicting guidance meant for gun stores in the county. Hospitals in the United States are reporting massive shortages of masks and other protective equipment as coronavirus cases and deaths continue to rise by the day. To help with the shortage, Pornhub has donated 50,000 surgical masks to healthcare workers in New York City, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the United States. According to the New York Post, the popular website has shipped 15,000 masks to paramedics in New York, 15,000 to firefighters in the city, and another 20,000 to Long Island's Mount Sinai South Nassau Hospital. Mount Sinai South Nassau's Senior Vice President, Joe Calderone, said the masks will be a huge help to the hospital. In Europe, Pornhub is sending more than $54,000 to healthcare workers in Germany, Italy, and Spain, so they can buy masks. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Take the Field's mission is to inform baseball players that physical activity is nothing to be scared of, that a little bit of running can be fun.
Now, Rebecca, this obesity problem is nothing new.
Well, right, there is a culture of obesity in baseball that has been around for years. I mean, coaches even sub in healthy pinch runners instead of encouraging their overweight players to hustle, depriving them of the only cardiovascular exercise they might have a chance to get.
And a lot of these athletes have been playing baseball since they were kids.
Well, right, so they might have never learned any healthy habits.
Baseball is fine in moderation. But many of these men spend over 200 days a year playing it, and that adds up.
The program encourages players once an hour to take a 15-minute break from baseball to do something active, like go up and down some stairs, go for a walk, or play some basketball.
All right, well, thanks, Rebecca. If you're a baseball coach and you're worried about your players' health, go to takethefield.gov for a list of healthy activities and nutritious snacks. Coming up next, does America brains get worse hearing words correct?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
All right, and this is Free Talk Live radio, where you rule the airwaves, and we have a very, very special episode prepared for all of you today. A lot of breaking news about a lot of very important news, national, local, some international. This is the first time I'm hosting Free Talk Live. I'm greatly honored. I'll be your host, Vincent.
You've been a host before.
I mean, first chairing, rather. Yeah. It's a great honor, Minister Freeman. Thank you. And in studio we have...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And nobody actually before we begin, I made an effort, right? When I was doing the show prep for today, I was making a great effort to have at least 50% non-COVID-19 coronavirus, kung flu, whatever you want to call it, news, and it was almost...
I like kung flu.
Kung flu. And it was almost impossible because on just...
It's so prevalent.
Oh, absolutely. I went through 7 different news sites, right? Mainstream news sites, some, I guess, a few alternative, and it was just saturated with COVID-19. I actually do have one non-COVID-19 related news story. It's regarding the First Amendment.
I've had a spattering of them here and there, but I haven't brought any of them up on the air because they just don't seem as important to me, and as somebody who's been hosting this show for most of the last 2 decades, I usually don't like to talk about like the big news of the day unless it's something that can't be ignored. And this is something that just can't be ignored because literally everyone on the planet, and apparently now, according to at least one headline on the Drudge Report, there are at least 3 billion people now on the planet who are under some sort of a lockdown status. And
half of the human race is in jail.
Right. So this is an open-air prison.
Yes.
This is
house arrest.
Incredibly relevant, right? Because if you're going to do talk radio, the more relevant you can be, the better. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about something that's obscure or esoteric, then you're probably going to get some people that aren't that interested. But if you're talking about something that affects absolutely everyone or a supermajority of people, that's a good topic. And this one is a good topic because not only does it affect people, it's also a very negative effect.
Oh, absolutely. And it's affecting all facets of our lives. It's affecting politics. It's affecting economy. It's even affecting how much pizza you could buy, right? Nobody, you came in and you said you had a hard time ordering more than $20 worth of pizza because they don't. They have a limit on cash orders now.
Yeah, I tried to place a $30 pizza order so I could have some dinner to eat. And they said their limit on cash orders was $20, which
crazy.
Domino's won't even come out for $20.
So you have to go pick up in store now, basically, is the idea?
Right, which is, obviously, I don't even know if they're going to accept cash in the store, though.
Apparently $20.
If I was going to go pick up a pizza, I'd call them first.
Wow. I mean, I wonder if that is a store decision or if it's a chain-wide policy now, because that's a huge deal. I mean, what does it matter?
I don't know, but I'm pissed. I want dinner.
What does it matter whether or not it's $20 or $30? Either way, it's cash. The idea is cash is supposed to possibly contain the virus, or maybe make it a vehicle to spread it.
The claim is that COVID-19 survives like weeks on surfaces, right? And what's a surface of something that everyone touches, right? Like, what was it? There's a rumor that cash money. There's a rumor that like 20% of all Federal Reserve notes have some sort of trace of cocaine on it. I don't know. I think that sounds like something.
80% of 80%. Federal Reserve notes have cocaine on them, and one study found that. Whether that's representative of the whole world, I don't know. I don't know how many times they repeated the study.
And so, so as I said, it's affecting all facets of society. But, maybe there's something else that's important that we're all missing. You could certainly bring that up. Open phone. It's open phone show.
Well, here's what I want to know. Sorry, before you get to the phones, here's what I want to know about this cash deal. can I go in and give them 20 singles, but they'll refuse 3 10s?
Or 2 20s, yeah.
So how stupid is this? I don't know how dumb it is, but it sounds pretty dumb.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
I went there a few weeks
Not to
ago.
mention that they're getting a lot more exposure if I have to come down to their store to buy my dinner instead of if they just deal with me for 30 seconds at the door. Because I'm going to be in their store for 20 minutes while they're making my dinner.
Oh, and at the store, I was there a few weeks ago, and they would be wearing gloves, and it would take forever for them to accept the money because I would give them the money. They would take
gloves off.
No. They would keep the gloves on.
Okay.
Then they would have to wash for hands, wash for gloves. Then they'd have to wash the keyboard, and they would have to do that for every. I don't know if it was just that one day or that one worker, but like every single order, and it's absolutely ludicrous.
Nuts.
I mean, I understand, and I've been a germaphobe for my whole life, so I'm feeling somewhat vindicated by a lot of this. But
you as a germaphobe think this is going too far?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is, my whole life, people have been saying, Vincent, calm down. Vincent, don't stress out. And then now it's the opposite. Everyone is stressing out, and I'm saying, everyone, calm down. This isn't the end of the world. And so, but is there something?
I'm glad to hear that.
But yeah, I mean, is there, leave it. All it took for me to get over my crippling anxiety was to have the entire world lose their mind. So
they really have.
It does change perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just. They're all freaking out. There's a headline on Drudge Report right now about shock claim 80,000 people could die from this, and it's like that still wouldn't be worse than the flu. If that were the global total,
80,000 would be about
global.
Worldwide.
Global.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would
US,
be smaller than the flu.
Right, in the U.S. last year was like 30,000 died from the flu. So
yeah,
I mean,
it really puts things in perspective. The flu, 40,000. How many people were killed in mass shootings last year? 100.
Yeah, 100 or hundreds.
100.
Yeah,
100.
absolutely. And the number I saw, and I believe at least in some of the New Hampshire base, because, New Hampshire news, New Hampshire is, some people don't admit, it's somewhat of a backwater state. And so they always, a lot of the times they have to tie in New Hampshire news articles, tie into like the bigger picture. I saw it's like now there's like 500,000 people are infected. I think like just like a few thousand deaths, and obviously any death of human life is tragic. So I don't want to sound aloof or callous or cavalier when I say, oh, just a few thousand deaths. But we have to put this in perspective, right? Where now we have half of the world's population, right, is essentially under house arrest.
Yeah.
And but anyway,
and getting poorer every single day.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I have never heard of talk of a depression, right? Aside from some of like the real hardcore gold bugs or cryptocurrency people. And then now, just like a month, right? If someone said to me 2 months ago, Vincent, we might be facing a depression this summer, I'd say this is absolutely ridiculous. Even but now because of the media were saying that they want people to be quarantined for 18 months, that the economy and the country and just the country, because apparently China's back to work, has to be shut down for 18 months. That's a year and a half. That's absolutely
There's no
insane.
way. By the end of the year, I'd be stacking bodies. That's not going to happen.
So, there's a lot of hypotheticals and such, but I like to remind everyone, I think it's important to remember that all things in due time pass. And so is there something we're missing? Are you freaking out about this? Do you think maybe we're aloof or we're not, or we're not panicking enough? You could let us know. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Just calm down, people. Life is fatal. Nobody gets out of it alive.
It's true.
And I actually do have I do want to try and stay positive regarding all of this. I actually thought about saying, oh wow, this is perfect. My first day on my first time first sharing on Free Talk Live. I could talk about all the doom and gloom and martial law, and I was right this whole time. But that's not what the world needs right now. What the world needs to do is hear about what's going on here in New Hampshire. I have here, this is from the union leader, and this was a talk of the day of Keene. Sununu, which is the governor, Chris Sununu, issues stay-at-home order until early May.
What?
Oh yeah, you were taking a nap when this went down. This was later this afternoon. Sununu has broken his promise, which he said earlier that he wasn't intending or whatever to do this. We all knew it was going to happen. And
well, not intending isn't technically a promise,
right.
But
yeah, well, he's full of it.
but he's gone back on it. Wow.
And I saw, when I woke up, I saw the Keene Sentinel, right? I follow him on Facebook, and people, and there's like an article where people are, people, right, the experts, for demanding he's not doing enough, for demanding he's doing more. And you can see, and the comment
wait, they're
sections
saying
are just,
this isn't enough? They're saying go further than this so-called stay-at-home order?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the people in the comment section are just demanding slavery, demanding martial law, demanding we all get welded into our homes like China. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. We'll be right back. This is Free Talk Live.
855 453. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
right, and welcome back. You are listening to Free Talk Live, where you could take control of the airwaves. Call in at 855-453. That's 855-450-3733. You could call in, talk about whatever you want. It could be about COVID-19, could not be, although it's news regarding anything other than COVID-19. Seems to be in scarce supply these days. And before we get to Sununu, Governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, issues stay-at-home order until early May, I want to tell you about localbitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at localbitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit localbitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. It's local.bitcoin.com. And now with all the fears of cash being able to transmit the coronavirus, now seems like the perfect time to start learning about cryptocurrency. In studio, we are joined by...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And we will continue, or actually we'll begin to discuss this Sununu's new stay-at-home orders.
By the way, I've heard there are at least 20 states that now have stay-at-home / lockdown kind of orders. Some places are more draconian than others on how they're handling this. Sununu had a statement that he posted on his Facebook so far. As of right now, the order itself has not been posted, at least as of an hour ago. I haven't checked in the last 5 minutes, but to the governor's official website, it had not yet been posted. So we've yet to see the actual official order, but according to the language that he used on his post on Facebook about it, he's making it sound like you shouldn't go outside except for emergencies. But he's not going as far as, let's say, the governor, or sorry, not governor, but the mayor of Chicago, who is basically saying if you are outside exercising, that you're going to be arrested.
That's absolutely ludicrous. And it's the same thing in Europe as well, in France, for giving tickets to people who are caught outside. They've had to give tens of thousands of euros in fines to people, and I mean, it's this is like the nanny state paradise here.
It's horrifying. Let me just give you an excerpt here from Chicago CBS. Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, frustrated with reports of gatherings throughout the city, delivered a stern warning to those who continue to get together during the COVID-19 pandemic. We will shut it down and you may be arrested. Quote, stay at home. Only go out for essentials. You have to readjust your thinking. Be smart. Not only will our police be deployed to shut them down if you're not abiding by these orders, we'll be forced to shut down the parks and the lakefront. The situation is deadly serious, and we need you to take it deadly seriously. She added that spending long periods of time outdoors anywhere is not allowed. And neither is going into closed spaces like playgrounds. Quote,
so just don't be indoors or outdoors.
Quote, you cannot go on long bike rides. Playgrounds are shut down. You must abide by the order. Outside is for a brief respite, not for 5Ks. I can't emphasize enough that we abide the rules. The Chicago Park District Mike Kelly now saying, quote, the parks and open space are here for your enjoyment, but keep your distance. If someone is passing by, step aside and let them through.
It sounds like the way these statements sound, it sounds as if they had like Bill Hicks write them. That this is some very sick parody of what elected officials ought to be doing during a crisis. Just like, oh, don't go outside. No, and I played on the evening show last night, Question Got 40. Italian mayors, right? Because Italy's been hit hardest, at least in the Western civilization with this virus. Italian mayors are shouting during their teleconferences, and sometimes they even walk around the streets yelling at people, saying that they're gonna, if they see you outside, they're gonna show up with a flamethrower and arrest you. And it's, I think that a lot just sort of
flamethrower.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little bit of overkill?
Not if you're a mayor in the EU. And it's I think it's the same thing as how a lot of these celebrities, right, are having these weird videos, and people say it's because they're not getting the attention that they want and they're neurotic about it. I think you have a lot of politicians now, especially the local boss hogs and like the mayors and the governors. They're upset that they realize they can't control people as much as they thought that they would, right? They figured that all they have to do is say, you can't go outside at all, and people will listen, when obviously people are still going to party and do, for better or for worse. And I think that's why we're seeing them start to sort of come unhinged.
They're freaking out.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Sununu,
Sununu is the governor here.
Yes. Sununu, the New Hampshire governor, Chris Sununu. It could have been, he could be better, but it could have been worse also. New Hampshire's become the last New England state to issue a stay-at-home order for COVID-19. This is from the Manchester Union leader. With many non-essential businesses told to close and residents to limit their movement for more than a month, starting Friday at 11:59 p.m. Well, if we're already going through this massive crisis, why starting Friday? Governor Chris Sununu, you have something?
No, I'm good.
Sorry, it was a rhetorical question. But Governor Chris Sununu issued the order, which lasts until May 4th so all the Star Wars fans could get together on May the 4th. On Thursday afternoon, after 24 hours in which his office received many calls urging the action. I wonder from whom.
Right, and this was after he said he wouldn't.
Cowards and fools.
Yeah. Well, and he had said the other day, or it was being said the other day, that medical experts were encouraging the governor to go ahead and issue this order. So he's got all these people at his ear saying, you got to do this, you should do this, it's important, public safety. And, the good news on this is the response. You talked about some of the comments that you saw on the Keen Sentinel's website.
Totally disgusting.
I actually, Arya had posted his statement, one of our co-hosts had posted his statement, JPEG of it, and I said, well, where'd you get this from? She posted a Facebook link to his page. So I clicked on that, and I scrolled down just to see. There were some nasty comments that were posted below that were not happy about what Sununu was doing. One guy said he was going to sue. Another person said, you're ruining my business. And so I think there's a lot of New Hampshireites who appreciate freedom who are not happy about this.
I really think I'm going to file a writ of habeas corpus
against
the state for incarcerating me in my home. They have not convicted me of a crime. They have no authority to place me on house arrest.
That'd be really interesting.
But on the other side, I've seen comments, and Keene. Many people say that this part, Western New Hampshire should just be, or at least Southwestern New Hampshire should just be annexed by Vermont. But I see people where I saw someone post, live free or die, and those who are willing to sacrifice liberty in exchange for safety deserve neither. And all the comments underneath it was said, yeah, well, that doesn't count during a pandemic. That doesn't count during a crisis. Well, really, in reality,
it's always a crisis if you listen to these morons.
Right, absolutely. It should count even more during a crisis because, as Rahm Emanuel says, never let a good was a mayor of Chicago, one of Obama's staff people. Never let a good crisis go to waste because you could get more stuff done that way, and that's absolutely opportunistically
And by more stuff
sick.
done, that means more tyranny, more violence, more demands, more taxes, more regulations, and they're really doing it over on this one.
Absolutely. But let's hope it's starting to backfire on them. Coming up, once we get through this article, answering the 6 key questions about Congress's coronavirus response package, i.e., when will we get our government cheese? Plus your calls at 855-453. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live.
The only thing that separates government from the mafia is their cloak of legitimacy. The government is nothing more than an armed gang of violent people masquerading as though they're something else. They've got these PR systems in place to make people think that there's something special about their armed gang, to make them not realize that that's all they really are. They've got uniforms, they've got robes, they've got courtrooms, they've got this aura, they've got flags, they've got pledges of allegiance, they run the schools, they run the roads, they're everywhere. So you think that they're supposed to be there. They've been there since you've been born, so they must always have to be there. Well, that's not true. They're an organized gang of criminals. You know how I know they're criminals? Because they're using force on people, and that's wrong. It's just wrong to force people to do things.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
All right, and this is Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves. You can feel free to call in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, we have...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And I am
Did you say your name? You did.
Vince. Yeah, yes. I am your host, Vincent, and... Before we continue on with this coronavirus in New Hampshire causing new lockdowns, I want to tell you about AnyPay. Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now, with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com. And now that we have at least the threat of rampant unemployment, passive income, and getting passive income is more important than ever. And so waiting very patiently on the Discord AMP-only call-in line, we have Gene, the Christian anarchist, wanting to talk about the coronavirus. Welcome, Gene. Thank you for the call.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to update you on the coronavirus in our neck of the woods. Now, we're in a little tiny, not a real tiny county south of Memphis, but it's not a big county. Anyway, the biggest hospital here has something like 20 cases now. Confirmed cases, and we had one confirmed case in our office. A patient came in who, I don't want to give away too much information because patient information is protected, but a person who worked in the hospital and was in contact with a person who was positive for coronavirus, and now they have become positive. So I would have to say that yes, it's a pain in the butt, and no, they have no right to tell you where you can go and what you can do, but everybody should be cautious because apparently this thing is very, very contagious.
I think you have a very rational sentiment there, because we've seen one end of the extremity where people are saying, oh, we need to have full martial law, we need to have a government weld people shut into their homes, and then on the other end you have like these and usually the spring breakers, people my age who are having coronavirus parties, who are engaging in even more reckless behavior than they otherwise normally would. And I think it is important that we keep our heads. And I mean, a virus isn't something to laugh at. Yeah, I mean, you could get sick like with a cold, but for at least for targeted people at risk, right? Pre-existing conditions, elderly, compromised immune systems. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that responsible people should do responsible things, and like young kids, if they want to go and have a big party somewhere, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure not for stopping them from doing that, but if they are going to live that way, they should be careful when they go visit grandma and grandpa, because they could
grandma
carry
and grandpa should be careful and not let them in.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if you're going to participate in activities where you probably are going to get exposed, then you should make sure that you try not to put other people in danger. I mean, this is just common sense stuff. And I think we certainly don't need government.
Let me interject for just a sec there, because grandma and grandpa might want to spend their last few months on Earth actually interacting with their grandchildren instead of living in fear, and maybe they stroke out in 6 months and they never see their grandchildren again. So I wouldn't make that assumption, but go ahead.
Unless they're like the Bundys and they can't stand their family, but
that's possible.
So I'm just saying, everybody just use some common sense. I am certainly against any kind of government rules and regulations regarding social behavior, but I would like to say that from what we've seen in our clinic now, all of our people are gowned up and wearing masks, because quite frankly, if one of our girls tests positive for the coronavirus, it's basically going to shut us down, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep our doors open and keep the cash flow going.
Now, is there some kind have medical people figured out a way to if you get the coronavirus, then that's fine, you only interact with patients who already have it? Or could they open an office that was, it's like having a dating site for people with herpes.
I suppose that could be done. But, I do want to give credit where credit is due, and I'm not a Trump fan at all, but his decisions to open up the medicine, and relax the regulations and get different kinds of medications on a fast track, because a lot of these things that are showing promise there's a Russian drug that's very, very good. We tried to order some online, but we had to do it from a Russian website. And of course, as soon as they got our mailing address, they said, no, we can't ship it to the USA. So there's no reason for that kind of restriction.
Have you tried the dark
drugs.
web?
Not yet.
I would give it a shot. I know of people who have recently ordered antibiotics off the dark web just for their bug out bag.
But not aquarium cleaner, I hope.
No aquarium.
No aquarium cleaners.
Okay, all right, good. But, just make sure.
But what I'm getting at is that Trump is at least trying to get the regulations reduced, and he has. Now we're doing telemedicine, whereas before we couldn't do telemedicine. So I appreciate
Obama
the fact
brought
that he's
in.
doing that. Well, no, not for us. We weren't able to do it.
Okay.
Not until just recently.
Okay, because I remember telemedicine becoming a thing after during the Obama administration.
Huh.
I think for certain things, maybe.
Okay.
It's like with Obamacare, right? It's like they institute some good ideas, but it's so wrapped up in red tape. Thanks for the call, Gene. Appreciate that, Gene, and Amplifier here. And Trump also did, before the coronavirus, he passed or helped pass a bill. I think it's called the Right to Try, which is just should we be praising someone for doing something that should have been done like day one on his presidency, right? The fact that people who are dying, or at least at risk of dying, aren't allowed to try certain experimental medication because they could die?
Well, we should, because most of these psychotic control freaks won't. And, my experience with that is my father was dean of the College of Pharmacy at the University of Michigan. And one of his colleagues recommended an experimental drug for my wife when she had cancer. And it was called an anti-angiogenic. But the doctor basically said, well, we could apply for permission to use that, but it would take us 6 months to get permission, and she'll be dead in 4, so I'm not even going to fill out the paperwork. That doctor almost died that day, and he has no idea.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's absolutely sick. And I mean, people have been born into this whole culture of bureaucracy and permission, and it's like to them it's just second nature. Oh, of course, you can't do that. We got to get permission. Oh no, and it's sick and it's unfortunate.
There's an interesting piece over at RT written by a Irish science journalist and writer based in London. He's got a background in life sciences and graduated from the University of Glasgow with a degree in genetics. He's looked at some of the numbers from Italy, right? And up until, I guess, the U.S. has finally taken the top spot as far as number of infected, but Italy was second to China for quite a while. There's been a lot of fear about how terrible things are in Italy, but he's got some interesting analysis of these numbers. Would you like to hear some of that?
Yes.
So he says here that, and this was published, I think, yesterday at RT. Yeah, actually, it was yesterday. So he says that the numbers show 10% of infected people dying from the coronavirus in Italy. It sounds like it's through the roof. But there's more to this terrifying figure than meets the eye. You don't need to be an expert to calculate a mortality rate. It's one number divided by another, the number of people who've died from the virus divided by the total number of confirmed cases.
All right, hold that thought, Minister Freeman.
Not the total number, the measured number.
That's what he gets into.
All right, hold that thought. We'll get to that on the other side, along with just finishing up the New Hampshire news. And when will we get our government cheese? You're listening to Free Talk Live, 855-453. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Attention, fellow Americans. We are now at an all-time high risk of illnesses due to pathogens and viruses. So it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. Do it with new nanocolloidal silver from Americare. Using a patented process with tiny silver particles 1/100th the size of a red blood cell that allows for maximum absorption, Americare's nanocolloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it inhibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever at around $1 a day. But supplies are limited. Purchase nanocolloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
All right, we are back. Welcome. This is Free Talk Live, radio where you could control the airwaves, call in, open phones, talk about whatever you want. You want to continue talking about the coronavirus, you want to talk about something else, is there something we're missing? You could do so at 855-450-FREE or 855-450-3733, or you could go into the on-air call-in lines on discord.lrn.fm, and if you're part of the free FTL AMP program, you could join in the exclusive AMP-only call-in line. Go to you first, head straight to the line. Now, speaking of the AMP program, I want to thank Jason Howcroft, who is a silver amplifier, helping keep the show and network on the air. And so thank you very much for that. And you could find, Minister Freeman, where can we find more out about the AMP group and the AMP program?
amp.freetalklive.com. That's where you can get signed up with, you can use credit card, you can use PayPal or Bitcoin, BTC, and you can help support what we do here so we can talk more about freedom on more radio stations, because there's no one else out there that is really approaching this issue, or most of them, the way that we do. So did you want to hear more about this?
Yeah, let's talk about the numbers briefly before we finish.
Yeah, this is really interesting because this is what people have to go on, right? Like they look at the news, and the news reports more numbers. Numbers go up. Numbers go up. Scary. Government say don't go outside. Numbers go up.
Quick, somebody panic.
They give a percentage and don't give any background detail on the percentage that they choose.
And so even though we've pointed out, well, look, so far this hasn't even reached, I don't think, like 3% of the total number of deaths that die in the United States from the flu.
You mean swine H1N1 or just regular seasonal flu?
I think, what is it up to? It's up to like 300. Well, how many deaths do we have now in the U.S.? Wasn't it like 300 or something?
According to Corona.help, in total, there's been 23,984 worldwide deaths. In the United States, there have been 1,209 deaths.
Oh, so they're up to 1,000 deaths. All right, so we're at...
but 1,864 recoveries.
Yeah, so about 3.5% at this point of deaths from the flu. But that's not motivating enough to people. So let's look at the actual numbers from Peter Andrews, RT.com reporting here. So they're looking at the mortality rate in Italy, which is one of the big ones, right? They are showing 10% of people are dying from this in Italy. And so they say in the case of Italy, 7,503 dead divided by 74,386 infected gives a mortality rate of roughly 10%. But that doesn't mean that 1 in 10 people who contract the virus will die, despite what the scaremongering media would have you believe. The first reason why is that the smaller number, the number of deaths from COVID-19, is impossible to underestimate. You're either alive or dead, and as soon as a person dies, they'll quickly find their way into the statistics. But the larger number, the number of confirmed cases, must by definition be an underestimate. It would be impossible for every person in a country positive for the coronavirus to have already been tested and added to the confirmed cases. The virus can be dormant in people for up to 2 weeks, and young people can experience very mild or even no symptoms at all and still be positive for the virus. Since that figure is by definition too low, well, we know the mortality rates being reported are by definition too high. Another factor is that governments are being pushed well beyond their capabilities for mass testing and contact tracing, some more than others. With typical efficiency, Germany is on top of their testing situation and as such have picked up many of their milder cases. Therefore, they have a high number of confirmed cases relative to the number of infected people, the true number in Germany. This is keeping the mortality rate in Germany down at 0.5%, baffling experts who are expecting apocalyptic scenes at the hospitals, the likes of which have so far only materialized in Italy.
But not baffling statisticians.
Right. Perhaps the cases will soon mount up in Germany, and their mortality rate will climb toward the 4 or 5% that seems to be the European average. But due to the asymptomatic people, which is the majority according to the best research available, even that is an exaggeratedly high rate. Apply this principle to Italy, whose civil protection chief told La Repubblica newspaper on Monday that, quote, "It is credible to estimate that there are 10 positive cases for every 1 officially reported. If this is true, and as many as 640,000 people are infected in Italy, then their actual mortality rate in a stroke would become 1% instead of 10%.
Yeah. Now, what I wish I knew is is whether you get a permanent resistance once you've had it.
Well, it may mutate, and there may be different variants of it, down the line. So who knows? We'll find that out over time.
One of the initial things that people would use to fearmonger about this virus is the fact that there's some evidence to suggest that it could resurge after like 2 weeks. So, you think you get this sickness for a week, you think you're cured, and then
but it comes back.
Oh yeah, but then it comes back. I had a very similar illness in September of this year where I got sick. I got sick every other week for 6 weeks, and it was just the same symptoms, the cold symptoms, chest and everything. So, and there's plenty of people that I've been hearing from in like media and just in person who suspect they might have gotten the coronavirus or whatever this is way before we started hearing about it, way before the panic even.
But wait, there's more. Yet another reason for Italy's inflated mortality rate is how deaths are being recorded there. Professor Walter Riccardi, an advisor to the Italian Minister of Health, told The Telegraph on Monday that, quote, "The way in which we code deaths in our country is very generous in the sense that all the people who die in hospitals with the coronavirus are deemed to be dying of the coronavirus," unquote. A thought experiment may elucidate this. Imagine that
So if you get hit by a car
you're dead
and
from
you've got the coronavirus, you died of the coronavirus.
Imagine that 1,000 people, all over the age of 75, died in hospitals in northern Italy last week. All of them had tested positive for the coronavirus at some point during the past 2 weeks. The vast majority of COVID-19 fatalities, 99% of them, according to Italian research, and they cite the Telegraph for this research, have had a pre-morbidity, if not 2 or 3. What is that? These are underlying health issues like heart disease, cancer, or various infections. Some might have been comatose at the time, with life support machines and artificial breathing the only thing keeping them alive anyway. Eventually, their bodies gave out, and they simply couldn't fight on any longer. But does that mean that in the absence of the coronavirus, that those same 1,000 people would still be alive?
They might have lived a couple more days, but...
In other words, is it really true to say that all of these people died of COVID-19? But amidst this crisis, when health systems and governments have tunnel vision for this one ailment, all 1,000 were chalked off as victims of the plague. So I wanted to put this out there because people just hear these numbers, which are numbers reported by governments. We've tried to remind people of that previously on this show. Not only are they reported by government, so they should be called into question just on that basis alone, because governments lie and they use these crises to expand their power. But, a basic look at the numbers and how they're reported shows that they're just full of it.
Absolutely, and the media core, and the media, and we're actually going to talk.
Although in that case, I will say they're reporting honest numbers mostly, except for maybe cheating on cause of death.
That's a big cheat.
But they're delivering numbers like most of the statistics that you hear. If you don't know the methodology behind that statistic, you don't know the limitations of the number, you don't know the assumptions, and you really don't know what that statistic means. People oversimplify their view of statistics.
Oh, absolutely. And
87.3% of the time.
And the media, who not only get more clicks and money and exposure and viewership or whatever from crises. I work in media. I was in the process of getting my multimedia journalism degree. I know better than anyone if it bleeds, it leads. But also you have some media organizations essentially act as an extension of a government. And the media has been loving this. And actually one of the articles I have ahead of time is showing public approval of the government, of the media, of the president and everything regarding the handling of the COVID-19 and the highest disapproval rating. Who has the highest disapproval rating might shock you. But Minister Freeman, I'm glad you bring up you wanted to clear up with the numbers, because a lot of this is the government and Twitter and the social media, they're trying to limit the discussion on this to, quote, experts, right? Because they don't want disinformation being spread. And yet, here you go. We have a government spreading disinformation.
There are, by definition, no experts on a novel virus.
Oh, that's a very good point. And so, just finishing up here with Sununu issuing the stay-at-home order.
This is New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, yes, the governor.
That's where
New
we
Hampshire
live.
Governor Chris Sununu, and they're using, I'm just looking ahead at the article. They're using the same tactics whenever they want the New Hampshire government to initiate more tyranny or more big government. They always use these tactics that we're going to get into. We're going to get into that on the other side. Then we're going to be talking about the 6 key questions about Congress's coronavirus response package, i.e., when are we going to get to checks and for how much? We have Governor Andrew Cuomo admitting that maybe the government's response has been a mistake, plus approval rating. All of that and more coming up. 8:55, 4:53. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,642, silver at $14.67, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,660. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, California utility Pacific Gas and Electric will plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter for sparking the state's deadliest wildfire, the company announced this week. The announcement comes a little less than a year after an investigation confirmed that power lines owned by the utility sparked the Camp Fire, which burned 153,000 acres, killing 85 people, and scorched the town a paradise. The plea is part of a March 17th agreement with the Butte County District Attorney's Office. According to the agreement, the county would drop all criminal proceedings against the utility, and in exchange, it would plead guilty to 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of accidentally starting a fire. It would also pay a fine of $3.5 million maximum and $500,000 in legal costs, as well as put $15 million towards water for residents who relied on the Miocene Canal destroyed in the fire. The announcement also comes 3 days after California Governor Gavin Newsom said he was willing to approve PG&E's plan to emerge from bankruptcy, which it entered in early 2019 as it faced billions of dollars in liabilities from the fires. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Los Angeles County Sheriff says gun shops are not essential businesses and ordered deputies to make sure they were closed during the coronavirus crisis, a move that was contradicted hours later when the county's top lawyer said they could be open. The move by Sheriff Alex Villanueva on Tuesday enraged Second Amendment advocates who said they plan to challenge it in court. Los Angeles County, the nation's largest county with 10 million residents, enacted a stay-at-home order last week, requiring all non-essential businesses to close. The county council says gun shops are essential businesses. It was not immediately clear what the conflicting guidance meant for gun stores in the county. Hospitals in the United States are reporting massive shortages of masks and other protective equipment as coronavirus cases and deaths continue to rise by the day. To help with the shortage, Pornhub has donated 50,000 surgical masks to healthcare workers in New York City, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the United States. According to the New York Post, the popular website has shipped 15,000 masks to paramedics in New York, 15,000 to firefighters in the city, and another 20,000 to Long Island's Mount Sinai South Nassau Hospital. Mount Sinai South Nassau's Senior Vice President, Joe Calderone, said the masks will be a huge help to the hospital. In Europe, Pornhub is sending more than $54,000 to healthcare workers in Germany, Italy, and Spain, so they can buy masks. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
From the admission of Ant Colony 000082567 KLN 00067X into the Union in 1897 to the day in 1817 when embarrassed construction workers realized they put the Erie Canal in the wrong place. The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On August 5th, 1962, Nelson Mandela was jailed until 1990, becoming fully rehabilitated through the South African penal system. And thanks to the services provided to him while imprisoned, emerged from jail a successful politician and internationally revered symbol of peace. Mandela's record of overcoming hardships and moving South Africa beyond its formidable racial struggles is a lasting testament to South Africa's correctional facilities and prove that the penal system's small cells, demeaning work duties, and minimal rations are exactly the tools needed for a prisoner to truly become a reformed citizen.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Free Talk Live here, radio where you control the airwaves. Feel free to call in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio here we have...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And I'm your host, Vincent, and I'm going to finish this article here on New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu issuing a stay-at-home order until early May before moving on to the real important discussion of the evening is when are we going to get our Trump bucks, our coronavirus stimulus checks. Plus time for your calls and thoughts. So now... New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu is quoted here as saying, "This is not a shelter in place. We are not closing down transportation. We are not closing our borders. And we are not preventing our residents from leaving home," Sununu said during a news conference Thursday at the New Hampshire Fire Academy.
They're just going to destroy almost all economic activity instead.
Oh, yeah, essentially, yeah. Or no, we're going to encourage... Well, yeah, I mean...
he's telling people to shut their businesses down unless they're on this essential list.
Which, and I actually have an article for later today, do gun dealers count as essential businesses?
Absolutely.
In New Hampshire, I suspect that they will be allowed to continue to operate.
Well, hopefully, although the ones who are still allowed to operate, a lot of gun stores have just run out of not only ammo, but also guns, too. It's,
well, the other thing is we are probably essential personnel if we're going out to talk to a member of our church because we're ministers.
Yeah. I hear media is also exempt.
Plus, media should be exempt as well.
Yeah, I talked to a reporter today who said he'd gotten a letter saying he was exempt.
Oh, they gave him a letter. Well, then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has to carry it with him and show it to the police.
Yeah, they literally
in some states, you have to show your papers now, even if you're not driving.
If they pull me over, I'm not going to answer any questions.
That's a really good idea.
Because this is one of the questions I was wondering is, can they just pull you over now for any, just to ask you questions? Or do they still have to have a reason, like your license plate light was out?
They never have to have a reason to pull you over, I don't think.
Generally, they do.
Really?
Legally.
Of course, I know of cases where they've pulled people over and literally they've pulled people over and said, "Oh, you're such a good driver," or they've pulled them over and given them something.
There are those,
like
you're right.
A gift card.
Yeah,
or something.
There are certain departments who will give you a free ice cream cone if you've been a good driver, and it's totally a fishing expedition to try to pull people over for the sake of being able to sniff their cars out and things like that. In my opinion, but yeah, those things do happen.
They're with cars like Joe Biden is with hair.
I think that those are still not legal. It's just that they're being nice, quote unquote, and so
nobody complains.
People aren't complaining. There's no lawsuits that bring that up. But usually, when they pull somebody over, they usually have to trump up some sort of a reason, and we know they lie about the reason. So they'll say that you had a light out on the your license plate holder, but you didn't, so they lied.
Right.
And
Yeah, and I guess that's more fair to say is any pretext will do.
Yeah.
For pulling you over, and you can't fight it. If they say he swerved a little when he was driving, you can't prove you didn't.
Right.
And the court will say you did.
And you also can't prove that your light wasn't out at the time that you got pulled over. Maybe it started working again as soon as he left the scene.
I actually beat a case, though, on that. I have to say, in Michigan, I got a seatbelt ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
was this recently?
No. This was when I was like 20.
Okay.
And so I went to court on the seatbelt ticket, and I said, and this was true, that when before the cop told me that he had pulled me over for the first thing I asked him is, why did you pull me over? And the cop hesitated, and in the rear view, I saw his partner who was standing behind the car point at the license plate. And so I told that story to the judge, and apparently he believed me.
Wow!
Because he found me not guilty.
Amazing.
And the other thing was that when the cop passed us, all four of us in the car had put our seatbelts on.
Okay.
Just to continue on here before we get too off track.
Oh, but then I got arrested on the way out of court for contempt because I celebrated too loudly in the hallway.
The order permits citizens to exercise outdoors as long as varying groups of less than 10 and practice social distancing. So no major games of capture the flag or group Zumba with goats. Businesses that don't meet criteria for essential will have to close.
Whatever that means.
That's not kosher.
Including,
I don't know what it means, but I'm pretty sure my religion forbids it.
And I got to say, the union leader put essential in quotes. Including most retail stores, movie theaters, and businesses offering personal care services such as barbershops, tattoo parlors, and nail salons. Many already have closed, he said. So they did they gave.
If I was a tattoo artist, I would be closed. Yeah, no doubt about it. It'd be irresponsible not to be.
They saved the state some trouble there. Specifics about which businesses can remain open as essential will be released Friday. So I guess he's waiting for all the lobbyists and checks in the mail to clear. We have chosen to align it so closely with the state of Massachusetts, Sununu said.
Oh,
there you have it. This is
God.
what I was talking about earlier. Anytime, because I've been involved in municipal politics up in Hanover and Keene for quite some time. And anytime that the state of New Hampshire, whether it's local, regional, or just state, that they're not doing some whatever tyranny or that the busybodies want. Most often the busybodies actually come from Massachusetts or Connecticut around. They say, oh, well, why can't, things in Vermont or Massachusetts or Connecticut are so much better. Why can't we be like that here? And my question is, well, why did you come here if things are so great in Massachusetts?
Go back. Go back where the government you love is.
Oh, but the taxes are too high.
Get away from us because we came here because it's not like that.
But wait, what you're saying is Sununu is actually modeling this after Massachusetts?
Yeah. So I've got
I've
got a sign design we've got to do for the April for the.
Are we still doing April 1st?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the fight for your right to folly.
All right.
So what I want to do is sign though, get it printed with a picture of Sununu and the caption, "Don't be a masshole."
Yeah, there you go.
So we have provided a lot of flexibility that you have seen throughout New England. The Massachusetts list of essential services includes critical manufacturing to serve the medical supply chain, truckers, auto repair businesses, pet stores, laundromats, construction sites, and the news media. Among businesses Sununu said would be defined as essential were healthcare providers, pharmacies, grocery stores, gas stations, daycare providers, liquor stores, woohoo! Banks and credit unions, and restaurants and bars serving only takeout or delivery items. So essentially, it's going to be the same as things already
See, they
are.
need to add clergy to that list because, if somebody in my congregation dies, I may have to go give last rites.
Well, that's one of the other things that's not happening right now is there was an article in the Boston Globe. I didn't read it in detail, but it was an interesting concept looking at these hospital restrictions. A friend of ours and former co-host here on Free Talk Live, the tech guy behind the website, Michael Hampton, he's my longtime IT pro. He went to the hospital recently. He was diagnosed with cancer, I believe colon cancer. And you cannot go and visit people in the hospital at this point. So if you are on your deathbed in the hospital, you can't get visitors. You get to die alone. The last people you'll get to see are the nurses that, you've only known for a few weeks or whatever, right? Like, that's it. You don't get to see your grandkids. You don't get to see your kids. You don't get to see your wife. You don't get to see anybody at all. You die alone thanks to these restrictions.
That's especially bad for Catholics because last rites is a sacrament. So that's like incredibly important for a lot of Catholics.
Yeah, you have to have last rites.
Well, not anymore, apparently.
If
you want to die without being alone, don't check into a hospital. Stay home.
My church just takes a DNA sample to make sure that, they didn't whack some homeless guy and leave him in your place.
So the governor said all government employees are exempt, though municipal administrators will have the flexibility to decide which workers are essential. Sununu also announced a closure of all beaches along New Hampshire's coast. Oh no, the tourist industry! The beaches in New Hampshire are closed! All right, we'll continue talking about this pandemonium on the other side. This is Free Talk Live, 855-453. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Free Talk Live, radio where you control the airwaves. And you can feel free to call in at 855-450-FREE, F-R-E-E, or otherwise known as 855-450-3733. And before we get to Rick in New York, who wants to talk about ventilators, I want to tell you about Divvy. So the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with her multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's Divvy, D-I-V-I, project.org. And waiting patiently, we have Rick from New York wants to talk about ventilators. Welcome. Thanks for the call.
Hello?
Yes. You're on the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I was watching a show and they announced that something like 4,000 ventilators had been delivered to New York City hospitals, but they were stored in a warehouse, and they were decrying how these needed to be, immediately in the possession of the hospitals. Does anybody have a brain? Can't they take their ambulances and drive to this warehouse and pick them up and have them in the hospitals in the next hour?
I don't think anyone is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it just seems totally illogical that talk shows are delivering this pandemic like, everybody's brain has just frozen up and nobody has the logic to think anymore. And I'm just curious, do you guys actually believe that this is what's going on? Because I find it hard to believe that there could be 4,000 ventilators in New York City sitting in a warehouse when there's a need for them in a hospital. And nobody's done it.
I absolutely can believe it, just because the sheer number, the sheer level of incompetence we've seen from not just the federal government, but local. And some people use that. Some people wonder whether or not that, just because you see the aloofness of our leaders who. They say don't cough into your hands, right? Don't shake hands. And after all these meetings, you see all these people coughing into their hands. You see people shaking each other's hands. And
nobody easily shakes off the habits of a lifetime. And as the older you get, the harder that gets.
I suppose that could be it. But anyway, so anything else you'd like to add, Rick?
No, I just find it curious that people, would actually believe what they see on TV all the time. When it comes to this kind of, I don't believe that there's 4,000 ventilators sitting in a warehouse not being delivered. I just find that ridiculous.
I'd say there's so much red tape, though, where if, let's say, a delivery person had a conscience and wanted to just deliver, just take it on their own time and deliver it, they could lose their jobs. I mean, they could get arrested for that. It's And it's the same thing as like if the UN and giving aid in Africa, where there's plenty of times, there's places where they're starving and there's warehouses of food that the UN has access to. And this is, I remember, as a story, it was an anecdotal story someone who was an aid worker was telling at like its school or something, and said that because of red tape, they're not allowed to deliver it. So people are starving, they need medicine, and because of red tape, they can't deliver it. If that happens in darkest Africa, I mean, what do you think we're going to do in the U.S.?
The problem there is not even the policy.
And thanks for the call.
The problem there is when I manage people, I expect them to break the rules if something unexpected happens, and if they have a rational reason for going against policy, and they didn't do something completely harebrained, I'm not going to get mad at them. I'm going to say, "Good, you did the right thing." Ignore the policy when the policy is wrong. But the culture of all government institutions is that policy is worth killing people for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it goes into the mindset of just following orders, right? Like, you had a warehouse full of life-saving essential equipment and people died and you didn't deliver it. Why not? Oh, no one told me to. Oh, my boss, he said I can't touch any of that. Oh, no. And it's really sick. But thank you for the call. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or if you want to sound crystal clear, you could join the on-air call-in lines at discord.lrn.fm. So now I'm going to finally finish this story here. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu is putting, I guess, sort of like a soft total shutdown on the state. We talked about the essential businesses that are staying open. They're shutting down the beaches, which, it's not that big of a deal here in New Hampshire. And it was the governor, Sununu says, these are tough decisions. They really are. But at the end of the day, the worst may be ahead of us. Sununu said.
So he may get more tough with his decisions is what he's saying, right?
Oh, yeah. And, and you have Trump on the other end saying he hopes that this will be done by Easter Sunday. This is from the Sentinel here. I think this is... on Wednesday, to the Keene Sentinel, on Wednesday, 200 Democrats from the New Hampshire House of Representatives sent a letter to Sununu asking him to follow the lead of neighboring states, including Vermont and Massachusetts, by ordering residents to stay home and ordering that all non-essential businesses close their doors. So this is being led by the Democrats here in New Hampshire, and at least he didn't cave completely.
He's basically caved completely. The only thing that
he hasn't done a shelter in place.
Yeah. That's where I'm giving him credit for.
To give him credit for not going as far as New York, New Jersey, and California and Illinois ain't really much credit to be given this guy. He's basically shut down almost the entire economy of the state of New Hampshire in a few different orders that he's given over the last week. This hasn't lasted longer than 2 weeks at this point. It was not this past Sunday, but the Sunday prior to that was the last Sunday that you could have a business or a restaurant or a bar open. So the first he's put out like 16 different orders in the last week. So don't forget, there's also the order in place that refuses to allow people to be evicted during this. They can avoid paying their rent, for instance. There's just you don't have to do anything basically that you're obligated normally to do. You can't run your business now. All businesses that aren't so-called essential have to be shut down. And this guy considers himself to be a supposed free market Republican or whatever, or pro-business or whatever.
Well, that's as close to free markets as Republicans get.
Yeah.
They talk about free markets.
No, because there's like there's like the Rand Paul or former Justin Amash or Ted Cruz type, but this, Sununu, now his father was John Sununu. This is, Bushite, old blue blood, country club Republican. So, Sununu, by most definitions, is one of the worst kinds of Republicans. He's
he's terrible.
He's a neocon.
Luckily, nobody's going to be opposing him in the upcoming election, and I mean the nobody sitting here in the studio.
It's true.
Absolutely, and the Democrats are trying to use this to get score one against Sununu also in their. I think we're still having their primary, and so that and more we're going to finally get to. Will we get our government cheese?
Yeah, what's up with that?
And your thoughts? 855-453. That's 855-450-373. This is Free Talk Live.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time.
DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition.
Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Free Talk Live, where you control the airwaves. You can call in toll free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or you could join in on the on-air Discord. Call-in lines at discord.lrn.fm. In studio, we have...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And I'm your host, Vincent, and right now we have Jones Inc. on the on-air call-in line. Welcome. What's on your mind?
Well, this question is directed at Ian. Why exactly did you remove the Fed badge?
The Fed what?
He's talking about the Discord. He had a Fed badge.
Yeah,
this
the
is
Discord
very petty
badge.
considering we have a global pandemic, but I guess you get your answer.
So I don't know why it was created in the first place, and what you're talking about is there's like a user class. The Discord, for listeners that don't know, is a chat system where people can go and chat with other listeners of Free Talk Live. and there are different sort of user classes on that system. So, for instance, the Free Talk Live amplifiers have their own class. There's a class that's special for female users that changes their color to pink. And so you had been given this class. It was not indicated as to why you'd been given it, why the class was created in the first place. It was called Verified Fed. And I don't find that to be a very helpful thing because we here in the Liberty Movement, in the migration to New Hampshire, it's not uncommon for new people to be, there's people that are paranoid about newbies, thinking that they're federal agents, and it really leads to some really unpleasant situations where certain people have been accused of being a Fed, and it has kind of made them completely reasonably unhappy because the people that they thought were going to be friendly towards them actually ended up being not so friendly. So I don't like the idea of calling someone a Fed, and so I removed that user class.
Well, I think that was all part of the joke, is to kind of make fun of those people that are paranoid.
But people don't get, when you first join a
sarcasm doesn't work well on the internet.
Yeah, it doesn't work well on the internet.
If somebody, especially,
if somebody joins the internet or the Discord server and then they see you in there because you had been given this particular user class, and it makes your color of your name different.
Well, it
than the rest.
implies to some people that if we thought you were a Fed, we'd leave you on the server, which
that's a good point.
I certainly wouldn't be in favor of that.
Well, I would not ban any Feds from the server. Everyone is welcome on the Discord server. People who act toxic get put in the toxic room, and I think that you should always presume that you're being infiltrated by federal agents. So, labeling them, I don't think should make people feel safe or not safe or whatever. But if you're a brand new user and you join a server and somebody is in there who's labeled as a verified Fed, that could either freak them out or it could, confuse them as to, what this is all about. And it's not necessarily funny. It's not really a joke. Maybe you thought it was, but it's very miscommunicative. It does not necessarily accurately communicate what the original reasons were for that. And as the administrator of the server, I didn't even know because whoever made that user class didn't explain it. Were you calling about anything important tonight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree there. But I do have news from what I've heard is from sources that the state of Illinois is going to be on 100% full lockdown starting Saturday at 5.
What is that going to mean? What is it right now?
As opposed to 99% lockdown?
Are you in Illinois right now, and what is it now, and what is going to change?
I am. So right now, we can do, it's quote-unquote essential businesses, which is full of it because Menards is a essential business.
What's that? What's
as
Menards?
Of Saturday, Menards, it's like a Midwest hardware store.
Okay.
But from what I've heard, from what people have said in very credible sources, they said Saturday at 5 that everything will be shut. Like, you can't leave your house. Like, nothing. You're locked down.
Well, you've already got the mayor of Chicago who's saying you can't even leave for exercise at this point. You can go out and get some fresh air, like maybe in your front yard, but that's about as far as they're going to let it go.
On the bright side, we'll probably have record low murders in Chicago while this lockdown.
Yeah, the virus is actually saving lives in Chicago.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. People are going to go crazy inside. In fact, if it's not murders, it'll be suicides. I've got stories tonight about the suicide rate going up, or at least calls to suicide hotlines are shooting through the roof, and there are people who are killing themselves, throwing themselves off of buildings, or killing themselves in other ways simply because they are alone, they cannot interact with other people, and that is very inhumane to cut people off from people.
Well, as a clergyman, let me say, if you're in that spot, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, hit up the Church of the Invisible Hand. I'll find somebody to talk to you, or I'll talk to you.
Anything else you'd like to add, Jones Inc.?
Well, I say if they do that, which is probably going to happen, it's from a credible source, I will be practicing civil disobedience, and I will be marching around with a Trump flag just to make people mad.
All right.
That sounds like a plan. Well,
look forward to seeing the pictures.
Thank you for the call there, 855-453 or 855-450-3733.
It's a false flag.
Or you could join in on the on-air call-in lines on the Discord. So now here we go. The main of all of that was just an aperitif. Here is the main course. CNN answering the most trusted name in fake news, answering 6 key questions about Congress's coronavirus response package. This was published March 26 today. Congress is gearing up to vote on its largest emergency aid package in U.S. history in order to respond to a coronavirus outbreak and its economic fallout. But the legislation has raised plenty of questions as lawmakers race to nail down specific language. Here are at least a few answers based on CNN's reporting. How and when do I get my check? President Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin have targeted April 6. Tax experts...
Where's my money?
And lawmakers working on this are very skeptical of that date.
I'm also skeptical of that date. I mean, this is the government we're talking about here. They don't move fast on anything.
Except killing people. They're really good at that.
People are, are demanding these ever since they even floated the idea, right? Even the people who absolutely despise Trump and don't trust him, like CNN, for like, where's our checks? Where's our checks? Whenever it comes down to money, then they love the government.
Yeah.
There's no question they want.
I don't file taxes, so ain't gonna happen for me.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to receive one, and I don't think I would do anything with it if I did.
Oh, I would. I'd give it to Roach and tell him to buy some ammunition and put it away.
I don't think you can sign over checks in most cases. Most banks won't allow you to.
Yeah, I'd have to deposit it and pull the money out.
There's no question they want and need to turn this around. Real mature reporting ASAP. There are also different ways it could be done: through direct deposit, which would be the quickest delivery mechanism; through mailing a paper check, or even, according to some people involved in the discussions, through mailing preloaded debit cards. But the reality is there isn't a firm answer yet. In other words, Treasury has a lot of work ahead of it. If there is help for small businesses,
they haven't finished the deal yet, right? Like, it's on the table. I think the Senate voted for it 96-0 or something like that, but it's supposed to be on Trump's desk tomorrow.
I believe it has to go back. I believe it might be going back to the House now.
Oh, really?
That's what I checked.
This may not be done this week then.
Oh, no. So we're asking, is there help for small businesses in the Senate stimulus package? There's a lot of focus on the individual checks.
Yeah, here's how you help small businesses. Let them go back to work. That's how you help small businesses.
Oh, yeah, right. Just give.
What good's it going to do if they get a check and they can't go and serve their customers? Wow, whoopee. You can pay rent for another, month.
And yet, still
you had to fire all your employees.
Yeah, not getting any income either. I mean, this is just to get my view of it is just to get people used to getting handouts and being on the dole. Because at one point in time in this country, some people were too, I guess they call it too proud. I call it having self-respect in order to accept a handout, right? Because, there used to be a good, ethic of work and such.
Yeah, I would qualify for food stamps. I don't take them.
And I remember during, I think it was the Obama era, there was one of his acolytes was bragging about breaking the back of Mountain Pride, because in like mountain areas where like coal mine, like West Virginia, Appalachian areas, they finally got the citizens there to accept government assistance. And I mean, they literally described it, breaking the back of Mountain Pride. So, I mean, it's great to have, the whole meme of having, Trump bucks or Yang bucks and, universal basic income. It's all funny and all. And I mean, who doesn't like getting, literally free money?
I like the UBI idea if it was implemented as, for example, a cryptocurrency, and then you don't have to use the currency if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a slippery slope if there's anything. But what do you think? 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Attention all radio listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implication of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the U.S. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of the threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there and I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart: a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally, and it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Free Talk Live, radio that you can control by calling in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, or you could join in on the on-air call-in lines on discord.lrn.fm. Sound crystal clear. And we'll be going to the phones in just a moment, where Patrick from Texas wants to talk about the $2 trillion stimulus package. But first, I want to tell you about Intercoin. Have you heard of Intercoin?
Cool coin.
You heard of Intercoin? It's a cool name, I have to say. Intercoin is working to make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. If you miss your opportunity to get in on Bitcoin from the start, then here is your chance to join what might be the next revolution in money. Check out intercoin.org. That's intercoin.org. And if you like what you see, pick up some of these coins for yourself. Just as the internet is a global network that connects local networks, Intercoin is a global currency platform that enables communities around the world to issue and manage their own currency so they may circulate it among their local population. Intercoin enables fintech innovation on the local community level, leading to stronger communities, greater sustainability, less poverty, and more productivity. Check out intercoin.org. Our listeners must know that Free Talk Live received $40,000 worth of tokens by Intercoin Inc. for advertising. And so now we go to Patrick, who's been waiting patiently. We want to talk about the $2 trillion stimulus package. Welcome. Thank you for the call.
Instead of this
$2 trillion money printing orgy that the president wants the Federal Reserve to have, can't we just get the deal maker in chief to go to GoFundMe and have them waive their $5 fee, and we could just have a series of GoFundMe to help the American people instead of printing a bunch of money that's going to help the big corporations?
That's a good point, but I mean,
how do you have a GoFundMe to help everybody?
Yeah, that's...
Well, I mean, one way you could do it would be using Intercoin, start a community coin,
but Intercoin
and
hasn't
put an
launched
MBI
yet.
on it.
Intercoin is in the development
well,
stage.
yeah, it's still in the development stage, but you can work up the software for it pretty easy.
Sorry,
why does everybody need a check? I don't need a check. Why does everybody need a check from the government?
It's a big handout in order to get people hooked on government welfare.
And to buy votes.
It's going to deflate the value of the currency.
Of course, it'll inflate.
And also to prevent people from rioting, because, you know, a lot of it is a payoff not to riot, because you can't expect people to sit home and quietly starve to death. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's not going to do that.
You know? That's why we can have a GoFundMe. And then it wouldn't deflate the currency supply. That's just an idea. I mean,
it's a nice idea, but government doesn't work on a voluntary basis. I mean, they have the printing press, and they're going to use it. In fact, here's a
the
piece
question is, if you can do that anyway, why involve government in the first place?
Well, right. We don't need government at all. Unfortunately, they're there, and they've got control of the printing press. And they, you know, when you have that kind of power and you are a power seeker, you're going to abuse it. And that's what they're going to do. In fact, as the AP points out here in their story about the $2.2 trillion package, that price tag is half the size of the $4 trillion federal budget. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a huge amount of money.
And, you know, the only reason they're doing it is because people just cannot keep their hands away from their face. That's the only reason why this coronavirus is spreading.
Well, I don't know if that's true. From what I understand, it's airborne, or it can be airborne. So,
well, they can't keep 6 feet away, and they can't keep their hands away from their face. I just drove across the country, and everywhere I go, people are still putting their hands on their face. And they're touching everything.
Well, people will continue to be human, and they will continue to be drawn to those habits that they've had since they were children. I mean, Darwin did the best he could with what he had.
Well, if I got something in my eye, I'm going to put my finger there to get rid of it.
Well, and you can, it's why Trump called it.
Before you put them to your face, please, people. Wash your hands before you put them to your face.
Okay. Yeah, but we don't have one doesn't have access to either like sanitizer or a sink and soap 24/7. I mean, one could be as careful as possible.
If you put your mind to it, you can.
Well, thanks for that. How about I just not worry about it? I'm just not going to worry about it because I don't care.
Well, you should care.
Why?
Because it kills people.
So does the flu, and I don't care about that either. I don't get vaccines for the flu. I don't go out of my way to do anything differently about the flu. I figure if I'm going to catch it, I'll either live through it or I won't.
I've never had a flu shot. I've never gotten the flu.
Yeah, why should I treat this any differently, sir?
Because it spreads differently. It's not a flu. It's a virus. And I'm not saying that
the flu is also a virus.
Yeah, as I understand it, coronavirus is in the same category as colds and flu.
Yes.
It's different than a flu.
Well, yeah, it's
COVID-19. What's your understanding of it?
The flu
what's your understanding of it being different?
Coronaviruses.
What is, sir, Mr. Patrick, what is your view of it being? How is it different according to you?
Okay, it gives you a dry cough.
Uh-huh.
And people are reporting that it feels like they have hot ice picks in their lungs.
Yeah,
bronchitis does that as well.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is there's all kinds of nasty diseases out there in the world that I could catch, but I'm not gonna just live my life at home and in terror of that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna adventure out into the world and deal with it.
A $2 trillion stimulus for the flu. Why are they doing all this big why are they doing all this money spending for if it's just a little dinky flu virus or
because it is a little dinky virus and they're blowing it way out of proportion. They've got people freaked out. They've destroyed the economy, and now they're going to try to get political points by handing out checks right before an election. That's why they're doing it.
I'll give you the last word here, Patrick.
Wash your hands and keep them away from your face, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Okay, well,
I've
thank you
washed
for
my
the
hands
call.
before.
And I mean, it's fine. He asked why they're doing, why are they passing this package, right? If it's just as we say.
I agree with him that they shouldn't have this bailout. I agree with him there as far as like money printing. Bad idea, but they're gonna.
And I mean, I'm thinking this is the perfect example of the Hegelian dialect. You have a problem, you have a reaction, the solution, right? You have this the problem is that this this flu virus is not this flu, COVID-19 is nastier than whatever normal viruses we all have to deal with, right?
Maybe.
The government, they hype up this panic saying, we're gonna have all these death, 10% of people who get in Italy die, and all this disinfo we went over.
Fake info,
we went over earlier. Then you have a reaction. People lose their minds. We're demanding that the economy shut down. We're demanding we all get quarantined for 18 months. And then, the government suddenly has the solution. We have to pass this $2 trillion, so to fit $2 trillion stimulus package to fix a problem that they started themselves.
And it's not going to fix
shutting. Well, no, that's not the point, right? It's to quote fix it, right? It's their solution to a problem that they created themselves by saying, we have to quarantine, mandatory quarantine. And so this is fitting in, right? Because it's not the $2 trillion isn't just going to go and fix the economic fallout that they caused, right? It's going to Planned Parenthood, or at least the Democrat bill that I saw. It's going to go to Planned Parenthood. It's going to go to buying stakes in airlines, right? So then they could push for a Green New Deal agenda, have emission standards. It's just a total, and that's just the economic side of it. It's a total economic and political takeover that they're using this virus as a backdoor. It's absolutely insidious.
Yep, it totally is, and still isn't even done yet. The bill would provide a one-time direct payments to Americans of $1,200 per adult, making up to $75,000 a year, and $2,400 to a married couple, making up to $150,000, so the same amount, with $500 payments per child. That's as it currently stands.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it is determined that the Chinese created this virus, or that somebody else created it and planted it in China, then I would definitely say that everybody in the world should sue the Chinese Communist Party for damages.
How? You wouldn't have standing.
Sue them in the world court. Sure you have standing.
There are some.
If they created this virus, then absolutely you would have standing in the world court.
I did see some articles where people are talking about holding China accountable. I mean,
that would be a crime against humanity, I would say.
Senator Tom Cotton is talking about holding China accountable. Some of the Republicans, or I guess maybe even the non-hawkish ones, are talking about it. But the Chinese, or at least the Chicoms, the government, they're accusing the United States of creating the virus. So it's not a right.
Yeah.
It's, the media says, if you say that this is could be a bioweapon, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're spreading disinfo, and yet you have the Chinese saying that this is engineered. I don't think anyone from the government.
Well,
obviously the government.
I study the government, so yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist because the government is a giant conspiracy to commit extortion.
That's a very good point. So 855 453 855 450 3733. On the other side, we'll talk about public approval during this crisis. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,642, silver at $14.67, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,660. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, California utility Pacific Gas and Electric will plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter for sparking the state's deadliest wildfire, the company announced this week. The announcement comes a little less than a year after an investigation confirmed that power lines owned by the utility sparked the Camp Fire, which burned 153,000 acres, killing 85 people, and scorched the town a paradise. The plea is part of a March 17th agreement with the Butte County District Attorney's Office. According to the agreement, the county would drop all criminal proceedings against the utility, and in exchange, it would plead guilty to 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of accidentally starting a fire. It would also pay a fine of $3.5 million maximum and $500,000 in legal costs, as well as put $15 million towards water for residents who relied on the Miocene Canal destroyed in the fire. The announcement also comes 3 days after California Governor Gavin Newsom said he was willing to approve PG&E's plan to emerge from bankruptcy, which it entered in early 2019 as it faced billions of dollars in liabilities from the fires. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Los Angeles County Sheriff says gun shops are not essential businesses and ordered deputies to make sure they were closed during the coronavirus crisis. A move that was contradicted hours later when the county's top lawyer said they could be open. The move by Sheriff Alex Villanueva on Tuesday enraged Second Amendment advocates who said they plan to challenge it in court. Los Angeles County, the nation's largest county with 10 million residents, enacted a stay-at-home order last week, requiring all non-essential businesses to close. The county council says gun shops are essential businesses. It was not immediately clear what the conflicting guidance meant for gun stores in the county. Hospitals in the United States are reporting massive shortages of masks and other protective equipment as coronavirus cases and deaths continue to rise by the day. To help with the shortage, Pornhub has donated 50,000 surgical masks to healthcare workers in New York City, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the United States. According to the New York Post, the popular website has shipped 15,000 masks to paramedics in New York, 15,000 to firefighters in the city, and another 20,000 to Long Island's Mount Sinai South Nassau Hospital. Mount Sinai South Nassau's Senior Vice President, Joe Calderone, said the masks will be a huge help to the hospital. In Europe, Pornhub is sending more than $54,000 to healthcare workers in Germany, Italy, and Spain, so they can buy masks. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A dead iPod is remembered as expensive. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Despite heroic efforts at resuscitation, a third-generation 30-gigabyte iPod, serial number AP356372, was pronounced dead early this morning at the age of 2. The iPod's closest companion, Sarah Zartman, says she'll never forget the great music it used to play, nor will she forget the nearly $500 price tag.
I'll remember those 3,500 songs as long as I live. That iPod was convenient, portable, and really pricey.
Zartman added that had she known the iPod's lithium-ion battery would have such a short lifespan, she might have spent more time listening to it. AP356372 is survived by a BlackBerry. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live, and we're continuing this Corona coverage. Although we're trying to branch out and not just focus on the fear mongering, not spread all these negative vibrations over the air. Trying to keep it positive here.
We have to spread vibrations over the air. That's how radio works.
yeah, I know, but I'm not saying positive vibrations though. So in studio we have
it's Ian.
And nobody.
And I'm your host, Vincent. And you could join in on the broadcast by calling in to 855-450-FREE or 855-450-3733. Or join in on the on-air.
Can you say free?
Free.
Free.
Okay, it sounds like you say 3.
Yeah, okay. So my whole life I've been or hold on, wait. Or you could join in on the on-air Discord call-in lines at discord.lrn.fm. So my whole life, for those of you unaware, I'm Canadian.
You're a frog.
And all right, that's muting mic number 2 here. Ian, shut up.
Except that's his mic now.
So
thanks, bro.
So that's right. Yeah, you Americans, you do it counterclockwise, right? Oh, very intuitive, like the imperial system.
I don't do it counterclockwise. I don't even know how that would work.
The mics are labeled counterclockwise.
Okay. I thought you were something.
It's stretching it to call a rectangular desk a clock.
No, I'm saying it's clockwise in terms of that's not the point. Yeah. The point is that my whole life I would pronounce the number 3 as free, like FREE. Mm-hmm. And I recently got over that. Yep. But now I'm overcompensating. So when it's supposed to be free, I'm saying free. Just because, like, my whole life, people kept saying, although my mother, who's listening, hi, Mom.
Well, you're going to get a lot of practice on this show.
She would say tree. So the number tree.
I see.
So I think it's like an over. Wow. Anyway, so I'm getting there. So I want to talk about the. So here we go. The coronavirus response. Speaking of trees, the coronavirus response. Hospitals rated best
And you won't guess who's rated worse. This is from a Gallup poll. This is taken.
Hold on. So this is a Gallup poll of Americans asking who's handling this the best?
Yes, this is their approval rating or disapproval rating of how it's been handled.
So they were given different categories, hospitals, other things. How are they doing, basically?
Yes, so hospitals rated at the top with 88% approval, 10% disapproval. After that, you have with high approval rating, believe it or not, your children's school or daycare, 83% approval rating. State government, 82%.
Yeah. Well, most of the schools are completely closed
because of the state government.
Well, that's the best education they've ever given.
Right. Unfortunately, they're still trying to do classes. They're still doing online classes, from what I understand. So the kids are still having to show up to this crap.
Or homeschooling.
But the thing is, that means their parents are going to see the lessons, and that's going to have a serious chilling effect on the propaganda, I think.
True, because the parents are probably home. So, they may be more likely to see it.
Oh, yeah, and I heard that some professors, like the gender studies and the basket weaving and, like, the real, like, toxic, insane ones, they're not liking the fact that they have to make public their lectures because people are going to realize just that they're advocating communism, advocating class warfare,
genocide.
Sex warfare. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of women's studies out there, professors out there saying, kill all the white people, even white ones, which... they shouldn't have psychotic teachers. That's a bad plan.
And they say we're a death cult for the April 1st protests.
Do they say we're a death cult?
Well, that's the joke. Well, yeah, some of these anti-freedom libertarians who I guess exist. You have libertarian fascists, so you might as well have anti-freedom libertarians who are saying that because
I thought we were an anti-cowardice cult.
As soon as it was announced that y'all were, at least it's tentatively announced. I mean, I don't know what the status of it is because a lot of things could change between now and April 1st. But the protest in Concord over this just the total tyranny that's being enacted because of a pandemic of fear, the pandemic of pandemonium regarding this virus. You have some so-called libertarians saying,
pandemic of panic.
Pandemic
is
of
what
panic.
You were looking for.
They say, hopefully all those free keeners, die and get the virus and kill each other, and it's just because as soon as there's a panic, and as soon as someone in a white lab
if
coat,
2% of the free keeners died, we might not notice. I mean,
because there aren't that many.
There aren't 100 of us. There aren't 50 of us.
That'd be a fraction of a person if 2% died.
Exactly. I mean, but it's all integers. You can't have half a person die.
That's a good point. So here we have 80% approval.
You could die a little inside.
It's already happened. Government.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Every day, die inside of it every day. Well, that's what college is. Government health agencies such as the CDC or National Institute of Health, 80% approval, 17% disapproval.
80% approving of the CDC.
Yeah. So
see, people just buy into all this crap.
But it gets interesting here. So now this is where you get the lower numbers. So all of those, so more than half of the numbers on here are in the 80s, right? So now the first entity on here that doesn't have an 80%, that has an approval rating of below 80% is Vice President Mike Pence, who Donald Trump has put ahead the head of his coronavirus task force.
Well, what's his percent?
61% approval.
Well, now we're getting political.
President Trump has 60% approval, which is like his highest
That's
ever.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is a really high approval rating for a president.
Congress has 59% approval.
Oh my God, that's gone way up.
But you won't guess who has the lowest approval rating at 44%. The news media.
Interesting.
And it has a 55% disapproval rating. And I don't blame them because the media has been the absolute worst about this. As I said, if it bleeds, it leads. So I understand that. I understand that point, but
it's beyond that. It's beyond that. I think it's about agenda because if the media plays up how bad it's going to be and then it's a nothing burger, then the government looks great.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then that by having martial law and isolating people and this forced stay at home, people are going to think that works, right? And then, we're going to do that if there's a terrorist attack, or we're going to do that if there's a hurricane. And then they're just going to say, hey, we're saving so many lives by having people never leave our house. Why don't we just make this permanent?
Yeah. And of course, we don't know because that's what Bastiat calls what is unseen. Every policy has, observed effects. but then it also has the effects of the things that don't happen and the things you don't see as a result.
Absolutely. And so now here, this next article I have.
Have you read Bastiat?
No, never.
Oh, he rocks. Definitely you want to read The Law by Bastiat.
It's short.
Okay, all right, good to know. All right, I'll keep that up because I have a lot of stuff on the reading list here. So one of the most militant governors, at least that I've noticed, is Governor Andrew Cuomo, who just last week was demanding that Trump deploy the army in New York to help out. New York is overtaking the California and Washington State as being what they call the epicenter of coronavirus. So now here we go. This is from Breitbart.com.
All hotbeds of liberalism, which is kind of hilarious.
Well, and also the big cities too, though, the big international cities.
Yeah, and New York is the 50th least free state. It's the worst of all the bad. It's even less free than California, and by a large margin.
And to be fair, they're also all sanctuary cities.
Oh yes, yeah, and so and we have and we're run by just absolutely just total scumbags. Now, obviously, many people listening would say, "Oh, well, most politicians are scumbags." Yeah, and I know, but in the case of New York, it's even worse. You have people like Bloomberg. You have people like Andrew Cuomo, who said that I think
Hillary Clinton.
From New York.
She's not from New York, but she lives in New York.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is. I don't know if she's from New York, but
she's from New York. She's from White Plains. She's from upstate New York and pretends to be from the Bronx.
Naturally, yeah. Anyway,
White Plains is like a hoity-toity kind of community.
So we have Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York he's saying quarantining everyone, quote, probably not the best public health strategy. So he's doing a 180 there.
You think?
New York, this was published today. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said Thursday that quarantining everyone together in New York City is probably not the best public health strategy in the fight against the spread of the Wuhan coronavirus.
And the spread of people killing each other. Can you imagine, 13 million New Yorkers all suffering from cabin fever at the same time? It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so, although I think maybe he had a good point.
Why is he saying that, though?
Yeah, no, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that and more. I actually have some First Amendment news, very troubling First Amendment news. Private sector's heartening response to COVID. All of that and more coming up. And your calls at 855-453.
So new news order is out. I have it.
Oh, awesome. We'll read that on the other side coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent.
Dynamite is nutrition.
Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McAlvany ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Free Talk Live. And if you'd like to join in on the program, you can feel free to do so by calling 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, or join in on the on-air call-in lines on the Discord at discord.lrn.fm. We're going to get into the reasoning as to why New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is maybe starting to admit, but maybe they done goofed with the whole, quarantining millions of people on the island and the city. Then we're going to go to Minister Freeman says he has the text of the order from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. But first, I want to tell you all about ForkFest 2020. So ForkFest 2020, you could join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You could simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you could create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You could connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That is forkfest.party. And so now before, let's see.
Right, so what's this guy saying, this Cuomo?
Cuomo, yeah, and I just want to remind, so now Cuomo he's a Democrat, and he's
an arch-authoritarian is what he is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yes. And I think he might have done a favor, right, to some of the liberty lovers in his state, because when he got in, he said, and I remember this, he told in 2014 when he was elected, he told conservative Republicans, specifically anyone who is pro-traditional marriage, pro-life, or pro-gun, that they, quote, have no place in the state of New York.
Yet they still stay, these libertarians in New York still stick it out there. I mean, what's it going to take?
Man. See, maybe he knew. He was warning them. Maybe he's a secret libertarian. Yeah. He's trying to get all the liberals and, a status to die in New York, right? So he's quarantining it, and he tried to warn all the people ahead of time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
if you don't
that's outlandish even for me.
If you don't want to be at war, Get out of the war zone.
Yeah.
We're
2 hours
creating
east.
a peace zone. We need you. Come fight for peace.
You've already got the crappy weather. Just move a little bit east.
Yep.
And better, less pollution too. It's anyway. So I'm just going to finish.
Everything's better in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's like number 1 or number 2, depending on which list of the freest states that you look at. New York is number 50 on every list.
Yeah.
So Cuomo says, quote, "What we did was we close everything down. That was our public health strategy. Just close everything," Cuomo recalled. He admitted during his daily press conference that he might have done
Is he
things
talking about
differently.
last week? Or is he talking about some other time?
No, he's talking about last week.
Okay.
Currently, yeah.
Sounds like he's reflecting on something a long time ago.
Well,
You're
people,
still closed down,
well,
buddy.
The reason is because he's writing the thing to try and distance himself from his responsibility in it.
Oh, yeah, and just
so he's talking about it like, oh yes, mistakes were made, but we're past that now.
and just a few days ago, he was saying that he was trying to use the most disgusting appeal to emotion, saying that, oh, my grandmother, my mother, your grandmother, they all have a right to live, and trying to guilt people into just accepting his rule. It's absolutely disgusting. He admitted during his daily press conference that he might have done things differently. Quote, "If you rethought that or had time to analyze that public health strategy, I don't know that you would say, quote, quarantine everyone," he said. "I don't even know what was the best public health policy." He suggested that younger people quarantined with the elderly might have spread the virus more quickly. And he says,
you think?
Young people then quarantined with old people was probably not the best public health strategy,
Oh,
he said.
God, no, because you got to figure they'd be avoiding them like the plague if they weren't, so to speak. I guess it's too soon for that. But they would be avoiding the old people like the plague
No pun intended.
if they didn't get quarantined because of the plague and give them the plague.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
He continues, because the younger people could have been exposing the older people with an infection. And I've heard one solution that would have been better instead of quarantining everyone was just having the people who were more at risk to quarantine themselves, right? And so they're the ones who has a sanitizer, and all the people who...
It's a voluntary quarantine.
Exactly.
Yeah. There should be quarantine islands for people who are real scared that they could go to in such a crisis and be only with other germaphobes who are willing to follow all the rules. But you can't grind society to the halt because you're scared.
Currently, there have been 385 deaths from the coronavirus in New York City. Cuomo said that going forward, he would work on a, quote, smarter strategy, possibly allowing younger people and people who have recovered from the virus to go back to work. He noted that both the state of New York and the federal government were both trying to decide how to get people back to work in a way that did not threaten lives or risk outbreaks in the rest of the country. We have to do both, he says.
Just flip all your burgers at home. Or repeatedly wash your own clothes.
So, Minister Freeman, you said you have a New Hampshire governor, so FEMA region, we're FEMA region 1. I think New York is in the same FEMA region. I'm unsure. You said you have the text of his decree?
Yeah, the order is finally out. We discussed it earlier briefly, that the state of New Hampshire is finally going on a stay-at-home order, although the governor was very careful to say that he is not putting the entire state on a so-called shelter in place, which would be you can't even leave your house, basically. So there are some provisions that do allow people to leave in this case. I'm skipping past the entire 2 pages where it's like, whereas the CDC reports that blah, blah, blah. There's like 2 pages of these whereases. So skipping past all that, getting to the actual...
With many asses of great weight.
Yeah, so getting to the actual order...
Do they turn into a donkey for a whereas?
Number 1, the identified services in Exhibit A are defined as essential services.
Werewolf.
So there's a whole other exhibit attached to this that goes pages and pages listing the essential services that are exempted from this order. 2, all businesses and other organizations who don't provide essential services shall close their physical workspaces and facilities to workers, customers, and the public, and cease all in-person operations as of 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, so March 27th, the end of the day, and shall not reopen until May 4th, 2020. All businesses or other organizations providing essential services shall develop strategies, procedures, and practices for allowing social distancing protocols consistent with guidance by the CDC. Now, here's the part about the individual and where they're free to go in this case. Beginning at 11:59 p.m. on March 27th, New Hampshire citizens shall stay at home or in their place of residence with the following exceptions. Now, there's quite a few of these. A, leaving home to get fresh air or exercise, providing that social distancing protocols are consistent with guidance from the Division of Public Health are observed. So they're saying you can leave to go get exercise. They're not limiting the amount of exercise. They just want you to stay away from people while you do it. B, leaving home for outdoor recreation, provided that appropriate social distancing is observed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and none of this is a struggle for me.
Such recreation complies with any limitations contained within executive orders. Leaving home to run essential errands, such as going to the grocery store, pharmacy, laundromat, or fulfilling any other errands an individual determines to be essential for everyday needs. That's a pretty big loophole right there.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to break...
I think they're making fun of me describing my ordinary life.
We'll break that down coming right up. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
A dying Chevron executive is excited to one day become oil. A man wearing red glasses and pink pants is probably Dutch or something, and the report of a popular fish's death is starting to get around the tank.
This is the Onion Week in Review. The nation was once again wowed this week by the feats of very strong little boy Michael Sartinsky, who, after removing his t-shirt to better display his impressive physique, deadlifted an entire frozen turkey over his head and held it aloft for 3 full seconds. The latest demonstration of the pint-sized muscle man's almost inhuman abilities comes on the heels of multiple accomplishments involving incredible displays of speed, strength, and endurance. Over the past 4 months alone, Sartinsky cleared the 3-foot chasm between his brother's bed and his own, beat his fully grown Uncle Scott in a foot race, and threw a tennis ball clear onto the roof of his 2-story house.
Pound for pound, I honestly don't think there's a stronger boy on earth. Have you felt his muscles? They're like solid rocks.
This is the Onion News Network.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Free Talk Live, radio where you control the airwaves. There is still time to call in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or you could go onto the on-air call-in lines at discord.lrn.fm. In studio, we have
Ian.
And nobody.
And I'm your host, Vincent. And right before we get to the calls on hold, let's have Minister Freeman finish reading the text of the king, or not king, he doesn't deserve that.
His
Governor
Excellency.
Sununu, His Excellency. Oh, they do call him that.
Says
Chris,
right there at the top of the order.
Oh, perfect. Chris Sununu. I mean, the fact that this is, dude, it's 2020 and you're still calling him
Ian
titles.
become the Minister of Information or something?
Well, this is
why?
this is
why?
This is a very
He keeps calling you Minister Freeman.
Excuse me, Pope Nobody. It's a very
I am a minister.
It's an
we
have a very ecumenical cast tonight, right? We have Pope Nobody, we have Minister Freeman.
Yeah.
I'll give myself time. I'm Saint Vincent, right? I'm
Although
a part of the elect.
technically, I'm my papal name is Pope Indigent the First.
Oh, excuse me, Pope
of
Indigent.
the Church of the Invisible Hand.
And I just before we continue with before Ian continues here, I just want to say that it says May 5th, right? Or excuse me, May 4th. It says May 4th is the end
expiration for the stay-at-home order.
The quote expiration, which it's always subject to change. Even the article we were talking about is subject to change. I just want to say, Keene State College, for slip there. I go to Keene State, and they were originally going to have campus be closed until mid-April, right? And they didn't even wait a week until they said, nope, campus is closed for not just this semester, most likely for campus. I mean, they're still most likely for summer semester all the way into the fall. We're still having like online classes, but I can't do my WKNH terrestrial show anymore because the student center's closed. So they didn't even wait a week before they said, oh, we got to shut down everything.
Yeah,
because one person got sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. Because I think the first person allegedly died, I don't say allegedly. I mean, died from the corona. They say there's one person who died so far in New Hampshire, which is a tragedy. But to shut down the state and enact tyranny, that is a overreaction. Does not even begin to describe what it is. But yeah, so
if you want to see how bad overreaction can get, go check out some video of what went on in China. Then reflect on, we've got about 5 degrees of civilization on them, maybe. Our government does all the things in other countries that their government does. And our government does unofficially and off the books all the things that their government does.
Or they just call it by a different name.
So it's only our government is only a 2-party state is only one party better than a 1-party state.
That's a very good way to put it.
So this stay-at-home order, it's probably not going to change very much for most people because most businesses have already restricted their employees to working at home. They're taking these measures to protect their employees from this, even though, again, I think it's way overblown. But if it's their choice to do it, then that's fine. And so they're talking about the things that individuals can do. So, again, they're restricting all businesses who aren't doing essential services to stay home and don't open up to the public. Then, as far as what individuals can do, you can leave to get fresh air or exercise, but you have to follow the so-called social distancing rules. You can do outdoor recreation. You can leave home to run essential errands like grocery store, pharmacy, laundromat visits, or fulfilling any other errands an individual determines to be essential for everyday needs. So that's like, and it would be interesting. I'm curious to see if other orders have that line in it because I was guessing this was just going to be boilerplate. It was going to be the same thing as every other state. But I wonder if that's in other states. Does Massachusetts' order have the same wording? Does New York's order have the same wording? Because to me, that's a pretty big open-ended statement. Like the individual can determine, is what it says, what their everyday essential, whatever errands they need to run. D, leaving a home to visit spouse, parent, or child, to provide care for another person, to go to the gas station. These are several different ones. To order and pick up takeout food, receiving deliveries from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, Postal Service, or other deliveries. I, leaving home to receive essential medical care or essential medical services, leaving home for purposes of an individual's employment if the individual is employed at a business or organization that provides essential services, or a business or organization to whom this order does not apply, pursuant to Section 5 to 7. And then finally, K, leaving home for purposes of employment in cases where an individual is working remotely for a business that does not provide essential services. So that's kind of a confusing one. So apparently you can leave your house to go to work at a business that's supposed to be closed if you're working remotely for that business. So if you have like a call center for the business that's supposed to be closed, you can go work. Anyway, the order also doesn't apply to...
That's actually an excellent loophole.
It doesn't apply to government schools. It doesn't apply to state government or county governments or legislative bodies or the judicial branch or the general court. And it does not, number 7, the order shall not apply to any church, synagogue, mosque, or other house of worship, provided those organizations still comply with the previous order, which limited to only 10 people.
So actually what I proposed would be on the table.
And what did you propose?
Okay. Yeah, I actually proposed reopening the area that we used to use as a gathering space in Keene for the church. Because I'm more concerned about people killing themselves than I am about people catching this virus at this point. People have to have some place where they can go once in a while and unload on person, because dealing with people on Facebook just makes you hate them.
That's a very good point. I saw someone in the chat, in the Discord on air chat, who said that they would have to have a remote session with a therapist. And for me, I go to therapy sessions on campus, and it's going to also have to be remote, which adds just this whole other level of complexity, because obviously via Zoom, it's not supposed to be recorded, right? And it's like one of the issues we're having is HIPAA, which I forget what it stands for, but it's about
health protection thing.
Yeah, health protection. A lot of the stuff that the resources available aren't HIPAA compliant, so that's right. An issue. So yeah,
Didn't
I'm
Trump
very glad.
waive HIPAA though, at least somewhat, to allow more teledoctoring?
I'm unsure, but one of the few positive sides of this is that Trump is using this as an excuse to deregulate things even further. So I'm glad you're focusing on the mental health nobody aspect of this, Pope Indigent I. Here we're just going to go to David from New Mexico, who wants to talk about the virus. Welcome. Thanks for the call.
Dave's not here.
Dave's not home, man.
All right, so what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Let me in, Dave.
There seems to be and stop me if you've addressed this, but I haven't heard it addressed very much, if at all, gaps in logic in attacking the problem. The idea, the resources, meaning everything, the energy of staying home, etc., seems to be misdirected. And yes, obvious, that's what you're talking about. It's all misdirected. But specifically, the danger seems to be to elderly people that are already in bad shape. If you look at the 100% of the people that have died, like 90% of them have been elderly people in bad shape already.
Yes.
And yet they're quarantining the entire country basically under the guise of protecting people from dying, but the people that are dying are, once again, the elderly that are already in bad shape.
That's right.
And
so
the thing is,
logically, go ahead.
They should be battening down the hatches on the retirement centers. No more visitors for a while. You guys just try. I mean, don't make them stay inside, but encourage them to stay inside.
Right. And the other thing is there two more things. One, they're doing testing, which, to my knowledge, the testing that I've heard of them doing, you don't get an immediate test result, although that's on its way. They're not getting results for right. And so the tests are just a complete waste of time, because they're running around for that entire 2 weeks before they get their test result. So what's the point?
All right. Well, thank you for that. You have to call in about the second point later. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Attention, fellow Americans. We are now at an all-time high risk of illnesses due to pathogens and viruses. So it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. Do it with new nanocolloidal silver from Americare. Using a patented process with tiny silver particles 1/100th the size of a red blood cell that allows for maximum absorption, Americare's nanocolloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it inhibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever at around $1 a day. But supplies are limited. Purchase nanocolloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Janess has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Final segment of the evening for Free Talk Live. I think it's been a great first show, first chairing, and I think it's went very well. So thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of it. Thank you, Minister Freeman, for giving me the opportunity. And so now I want to say that I at least covered something. As we talked about this over the break, right? Where we're not tonight's episode. It wasn't just all covering COVID-19. It's covering the reaction to it, which is very important.
That's all that I've been talking about. I mean, what else can you say about a virus?
Oh, well,
it's the response that's interesting.
Very few else unrelated, at least, is being reported on in the news. Right, my evening show, Questioning Authority, which you could catch on Saturdays, 10 p.m. on LRN.FM. I've been trying. Eastern time. Thank you. Yes, I've been making a conscious effort to find non-corona related news, and it's just been almost impossible, even for today. But actually, I do want to get through this one article I have, because this actually is important First Amendment news. So, for long-time listeners, no
There's
surprise.
Still a First Amendment?
There's something called the First Amendment.
The amendment's still there.
Yeah, it's written down on the piece of paper.
That whole right to assemble part's out the window at this point.
Well, it's because there's a pandemic and it's different.
Orwell called it, if you redefine all the words or you just lie about what things mean, then it doesn't matter what they put on paper.
So we have, this is from Huffington Post, because I like to get a diverse range of political opinions when I do my news show prep. Alex Jones loses Sandy Hook court appeal, must now pay nearly $150,000 in legal fees. This is
breaking, or this?
March
like
26th.
Huh. Okay.
The InfoWars host is being sued by 9 people whose family members were killed in the shooting at Connecticut Elementary School.
Oh, maybe he lost an initial hearing in this case previously.
Yeah,
I feel
this
like
is an appeal, so he's lost several times.
Okay.
But just the implication for free speech. So Alex Jones, a conspiracy theorist, he's actually a fellow GCN radio show host, the Alex Jones Show, a conspiracy theorist and repeated loser of court battles, was ordered and so obviously we're putting their bias in here.
Well, it's HuffPost.
Well, I know. I shouldn't expect anything different. But Wednesday to pay more than $20,000 in attorney's fees after losing another appeal in a defamation case related to the 2012 mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
If anybody should be unsurprised that Alex Jones loses every time Alex Jones goes to court, it should be Alex Jones. Shouldn't he expect that?
I mean, well, yeah, because
the whole system is rigged, and he's right about that. He's wrong, I think, about a lot of the ways that it's rigged, and he's also, completely out of his mind. But
well, I'm sure he could say the same thing about Pope Nobody, if he hears some of the stuff you got to say. But
it's
but
true.
It doesn't matter if he's right or wrong. He now owes nearly $150,000 in legal fees before he even faces a jury. The Texas Court of Appeals sided with Sandy Hook father Neil Heslin, who for years has been quote attacked by attacked with his words about attacked by conspiracy theorists who falsely claim the school shooting in which 20 children and 6 adults were killed never happened. Heslin's lawsuit accuses Jones and his website InfoWars of defamation after Jones claimed the parents of the dead children were quote crisis actors who helped stage the shooting. Jones is now being sued by 9 family members.
This is where Jones completely misunderstands the way the government operates. Why bother getting a whole 60 people together to do a fake shooting when you can achieve the same thing by sending one kid in with a gun?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I remember because
That's the easier way to pull off the whole scam. You only need one kid.
But yeah,
you can, give him the full MK Ultra treatment to make him do it.
Oh, but yeah, that's very true.
For them.
And as Jones says, in Jones's words, the SSRIs and like the mood suppressors like Prozac, that's as what he calls them, suicide mass murder pills. And I listened to the Alex Jones show years ago.
He's on both sides of the argument, is he? Because if they did it because they're on Prozac, then they did it.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. And I understand what you mean by that. And I was listening on the day it happened, and he's like, I had a dream where men in black uniforms with rifles rappelled from the ceiling and killed kids. And so, and he's been flip-flopping on this a lot, and
I've
that doesn't
always
help his
thought
case.
that Alex Jones's job was to make libertarians look stupid in the same way that Fox News's job is to make conservatives look stupid.
There is a valid argument for that. So Jones's
Except Jones isn't a libertarian.
Jones is
he
used to claim to be.
He did use the word for himself. I think
now
he says
he's a Trumper all in.
Now.
Jones's most recent appeal to dismiss Heslin's lawsuit was found to be quote frivolous. The court ruled Wednesday Jones was ordered to pay $22,250 in attorney's fees. Jones was also. Oh yeah, and by the way, like according to Jones, right, the Connecticut firm that is suing him has to do with like politicians and such. So yeah, I mean, it's like even whatever you think. Let's say you hate Jones because he's, saying all this stuff or conspiracy theories. I mean, what's happening to him isn't right. I mean, this is, First Amendment protected speech, and it's called lawfare, right?
But then again, he's still got an appeal to the Supreme Court. I know he has not gone to the Supreme Court. I would have read about it many times by now.
But the thing is with lawfare, it doesn't matter.
That's where First Amendment cases get decided, though.
Oh, I know. But in the meantime, what they do is lawfare, where they could, the suit could just be totally frivolous. They could have no ground, just in general. But for process, right? Because in this country, if you lose a suit, you don't have to pay like in the UK and other places. If you sue someone and you lose, you have to pay their legal defense. But in the United States, that doesn't happen, for better or for worse.
Well, it only happens when under special circumstances where something is frivolous.
But in this case, when they have lawfare, it's the point isn't to beat them in court. The point is to bleed them dry of financial resources in the process.
Oh, I know. That's what they did with me with the machete. They prosecuted me twice for a felony for being a felon in possession of a garden tool, which isn't even a weapon under the law. That's lawfare. I know.
And you beat that, I believe, correct?
I beat it twice.
Successful. Oh, wonderful.
But I'm still out $1,600. So who won?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Your time.
Jones was also ordered to pay approximately $25,000 in October after a court sanctioned him. And in December, he was ordered to pay $100,000 in legal fees after a Texas judge ruled his defense team, quote, intentionally disregarded an earlier order to produce witnesses. Attorney Mark Bankston, who is representing Heslin and other families suing Jones, told HuffPost in a statement that the latest victory for his client spells the end for Jones. Quote, it is rare to see a legal defense.
I doubt that.
It is, yeah, I know. I mean, I wonder what they asked Jones.
What does that mean even? He's going to die?
He's going to, well, I know, and like.
But did he die?
No, he's not, as far as I know, he's still alive. That's so.
You got 3 callers, man.
Yeah, and we're at the end of the show, dude. It is rare to see a legal defense so incompetent and disrespectful to the end. The law that caused a defendant to rack up $150,000 in fines during preliminary motions before even reaching the trial, Bankston said, these fines are only the beginning. A far greater reckoning awaits Mr. Jones. So, I mean, it's being very clear.
Okay, so this case isn't even over yet. These are just fines related to
so we're racking.
Yeah,
exactly. We're racking up the fines there. So Jones is most okay. So then they just add that. So all right, let's do some radio graffiti. Giving credit to where credit's due. That's Ghost from True Capitalist Radio's term. All right, we have Aaron in Newtown, L.A. What's on your mind? Real quick, like 10 seconds.
Hey, sorry, man. This is Aaron in New Orleans.
New Orleans. Excuse me.
Yeah, hey, I was just calling to say, before Mardi Gras, we had maybe 1 or 2 cases of COVID-19. Now we're right behind New York City as far as being the epicenter as far as per capita numbers. I mean, you can't invite 500,000 people down and not expect to spread whatever they have around.
Absolutely. I didn't know that. Thank you. Are you worried?
Oh yeah, I mean we're on basically shelter in a place. You can go out for essentials and things, and law enforcement really doesn't hassle anyone, but it's pretty much at your own risk.
Are you more worried about the government or the disease?
I'm more worried about the virus. I don't think the government right now. They're kind of like playing hands off. I think they're just as afraid as everyone else is.
Thanks for the call.
All right, thanks. Hopefully it works out for you. Here we go. We have Paul in Tampa, Florida. Real quick, wants to talk about Corona. Big surprise. All right, 10 seconds. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just figured it out. If you don't choose to be a resident, the government can't tell you to stay home. If you don't choose to be a resident,
well, now that's an interesting legal argument, and I'd love to see you make it when the cops pull you over on video. I hope that you will record video of that and put it online so we can all see how that goes.
And San Francisco learned that when they exempted homeless. Then the second thing, you will not get your $1,200 check unless you can prove to the government that you're a subject of the Washington, D.C. people.
That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't cash it.
That's a very good point. Thank you for your call. There will be more time tomorrow, 7 to 10 p.m. Free Talk Live. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. It's been a great show. Let's see here.
Good job, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, anyway, so thanks everyone so much for
Plug
listening.
your show.
Same time. Oh, yeah, Questioning Authority, LRN.FM, 10 p.m. Eastern,
What about your
Saturday
website?
nights. ShireFreeMedia.com.
There you go.
Thank you,
And
Nobody and Ian,
electnobody.com.
and it's been a great show, and I hope to hear from all of you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin?